This year alone, we've declared a Republican civil war over everything from Ukraine funding, Epstein files, tariffs, RFK Jr. being allowed within 30 feet of a vaccine fridge or roadkill, over which Republican gets to be the next guy that Donald Trump humiliates in public. But the fight that seems to finally be cracking the whole coalition wide open this week was a burrito. And here's how this whole thing started. A Turning Point USA spokesperson named Andrew Colvett posted that one of his own college kids told him, quote, "A burrito shouldn't cost $20. It shouldn't. Completely normal sentence that a 21-year-old would say out loud in America in 2026. And the professional adult wing of the Republican Party responded like that kid just burned a flag. Hell, former Congressman Dan Crenshaw presumably has been keeping an eye on things, went on X to say, stop whining, get a job, eat ramen like the rest of us did in college on a budget with 4 roommates. The market doesn't care what you think something should cost. Only communists care. Are you a communist? Or are you an American adult male capable of handling his own A guy who just lost his job, telling everyone else to go get one. And remember, kids, this is the same Dan Crenshaw who back in 2021 went after the Biden administration when they suggested people eat a little less meat during inflation. Called them, quote, a bunch of rubes. So eating cheaper food to survive during rising prices was rube behavior when it was a Democrat suggestion. But it's rugged frontier character building when Dan Crenshaw suggested. And then WAPO's columnist Marc Thiessen jumping in to really put a bow on the whole ordeal, informing the kids that the burritos are, quote, included in your meal plan. And he compared complaining about food prices to sitting in business class and whining about airfare. And then the Vice President of the United States decided to weigh in because we needed his opinion on how to afford things, not to defend Thiessen, but to dunk on him. I'm surprised to hear Mark say this. If you've ever met him in person, it's quite obvious the man has never missed a burrito. That's your vice president, publicly, in the middle of his own party's affordability crisis that's caused by his own damn boss, making fat jokes. Anyway, I've got to ask, when a politician tells you that you just need to budget better, do you believe for 1 second that they've ever priced out groceries? Or do you think somebody handed them a talking point about Gen Z being soft and they ran with it? Because that's easier than taking accountability. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. And look, there is real math here, by the way. Since 2006, a pound of beef is up $4.50. Gas nearly doubled. Housing doubled. The economy shed 23,000 jobs last month. Inflation is still way outpacing wage growth. That college kid wasn't whining. He's the only person in the entire conversation willing to describe the country that he actually lives in. And yes, I've personally paid $22 for a damn burrito. It was cold in the middle, and the queso upgrade was $1.75 extra. And I had to eat it in an airport standing up next to a charging station. I think Michelin may have forgotten to review that one. I'm not proud of that, but at no point did I need a former congressman to explain that the real problem was my character and not the economic policies that seem to have been crafted by a toddler's tantrums. The people running this country right now don't know what it's like to stretch a paycheck. They don't know what it's like to have to work 2 or 3 jobs, not have enough time to cook a meal, to raise kids, to get them to school and back and practices and back, and then somehow try to scrape up the remnants of a social life, and then be told, no, even though prices on everything are going way up and the wages haven't kept up. You are the problem. That's what they are trying to tell you. Because wanting to drink a coffee or eat an avocado spread across toasted bread or eating a burrito, to them is more of a mortal sin than giving tax breaks to billionaires and cutting your health benefits to do it. Remember, when the orange bastard himself got asked about the costs of his tariffs, remember his advice to families at Christmas time was to buy your kids fewer toys. They want you to suffer so that they can sit up in business class and eat their damn burritos in McDonald's without judgment. An independent media like us, we run on your interactions, not on ad buys from companies who sell burritos. Although, man, a sponsorship from a good burrito company, you need to get on that. But look, if you got anything out of this, drop a comment, hit a like, and send this story to the one guy in your group chat that still thinks an expensive lunch is a communist plot.